Before any trade is entered, something far more important than analysis must already be in place. Your state of mind. Most traders think trades fail because of bad timing or bad decisions, but the truth is simpler. Trades fail because they were entered from the wrong mental state. You can have the right idea and still lose control if your mind is not ready. The market does not respond to what you see. It responds to how you act, and how you act is controlled by your state of mind. The right state of mind before entering trades is not excitement. It is not confidence. It is not urgency. It is neutrality. Calm, clear, balanced. Most traders enter trades already leaning forward emotionally. They want something to happen. They want confirmation. They want progress. That wanting is the problem, because wanting creates pressure. Pressure speeds decisions, and speed removes precision. The right state of mind is one where you do not need the trade. You are open to it, but not dependent on it. Needing a trade means you are already compromised. It means you are trying to get something from the market. The market is not here to give. It is here to test behavior. The right state of mind is acceptance. Acceptance that you may be wrong. Acceptance that nothing may happen today. Acceptance that waiting is part of the job. Without this acceptance, every decision is emotional. Most traders enter trades while carrying something. A loss from earlier, a win that made them excited, boredom from waiting too long, frustration from missing a move. These emotions quietly follow them into the next decision, and the trade is already damaged before it begins. The right state of mind means nothing is being carried forward. Each decision stands alone, clean, unattached, calm. If you feel rushed before entering a trade, that is not readiness. If you feel anxious, that is not readiness. If you feel excited, that is not readiness. Excitement feels positive, but it removes patience. Patience is required for clean execution. The right state of mind feels almost boring, not dull, stable. There is no internal noise, no argument, no urgency, just clarity. Most traders don't trust this feeling. They think something must feel intense to matter, but intensity is emotional. Emotion clouds judgment. The right state of mind is quiet enough that you can walk away without regret. If you cannot walk away calmly from a setup, you are not ready to enter it. That is a rule many traders ignore, and it costs them over time. The right state of mind before entering trades is also detachment from outcome. You are not entering to win. You are entering to execute correctly. Winning is not the goal. Correct behavior is. When behavior is correct, results take care of themselves over time. When behavior is driven by outcome, discipline collapses. Most traders check their balance before entering trades. That is a mistake. Balance awareness increases emotional weight. Emotional weight changes decision making. The right state of mind does not focus on money. It focuses on behavior, process, execution, stopping when necessary. The right state of mind is also one where your body feels settled. No tension in the shoulders, no shallow breathing, no restlessness. The body often signals compromise before the mind does. Ignoring the body leads to emotional decisions. The right state of mind feels physically relaxed, mentally alert, not tired, not overstimulated. Entering trades while tired is entering trades while impaired. Fatigue reduces patience. Reduced patience increases impulse. Impulse destroys consistency. The right state of mind includes knowing when not to trade. Many traders believe readiness means finding reasons to enter. In reality, readiness means being comfortable not entering. If nothing aligns, you step away without disappointment. Disappointment means expectation. Expectation leads to force. Force leads to mistakes. The right state of mind has no expectations, only awareness. Another part of the right state of mind is humility. You are not here to outsmart the market. You are here to respond to it. Arrogance creates blindness. Humility keeps perception sharp. When you believe you know what will happen, you stop listening, and the market punishes that quickly. The right state of mind is also emotionally even. You don't feel like you need to make up for earlier mistakes. You don't feel pressure to perform today. You don't feel behind. Feeling behind is imaginary. It creates urgency. Urgency is the enemy of good decisions. The right state of mind is one where time feels available. You are not rushing. You are not watching the clock. You are present. Presence allows you to see clearly. Most bad trades happen when the trader's mind is ahead of the moment, thinking about outcomes, thinking about recovery, thinking about proving something. The right state of mind is anchored in now. Before entering any trade, the best question is not, is this a good setup? It is, am I in the right state to act? If the answer is anything but calm certainty, you wait. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is discipline. Discipline before entry is what protects you after entry. Most traders focus on managing trades. Few focus on managing themselves before the trade, but that is where the real edge is. Emotions do not sabotage trades loudly. They do it quietly. They sit beneath the surface and influence timing, size, patience, and reaction. Most traders believe they will notice when emotion takes over. They won't. Emotion rarely announces itself. It disguises itself as logic, as confidence, as urgency that makes sense. That is why the right state of mind must be checked before any trade, not after. If you wait until you feel emotional, you are already late. One of the most dangerous emotional states before entering trades is subtle pressure, not panic, not fear, pressure to perform, pressure to do something, pressure to not waste time. This pressure feels responsible, but it narrows focus. It makes you overlook details. It pushes you to accept trades that are almost right. Almost right trades drain accounts slowly. The right state of mind has no pressure. You feel like today can pass without a trade and nothing is lost. That feeling is safety. Another hidden enemy is anticipation. You see something forming, you imagine how it will play out. You feel ahead of the moment. That anticipation creates attachment. Attachment creates impatience. Impatience causes early entries and late exits. The right state of mind observes without projecting. You let things come to you. You do not lean forward mentally. Another emotional trap before entry is emotional residue. Something happened earlier, a loss, a near win, a missed move, even something unrelated outside trading. Your mind carries it. If it is not cleared, it enters the trade with you, and it will demand something from the outcome. The right state of mind is emotionally clean, no residue, no carryover. If you cannot say, this moment stands alone, you are not ready. Professional traders reset their state intentionally. They do not assume calm, they create it. This does not require complex routines. It requires honesty, a pause, a check-in. How do I feel right now? Not intellectually, physically, emotionally. If the answer is restless, irritated, excited, tired, or pressured, the answer is also clear. You wait. Resetting your state is an act of discipline, not delay. Stepping away for 5 minutes can save hours of damage. Breathing slowly, standing up, looking away from the screen, letting the nervous system settle. These actions change state faster than analysis ever will. The right state of mind also requires self-trust. Not trust that you will win, trust that you will stop, trust that you will not chase, trust that you will walk away if things feel off. Without self-trust, every trade carries fear. Fear demands control. Control leads to interference. Interference destroys execution. When you trust yourself, you don't need to control outcomes. You focus on behavior. The right state of mind before entering trades is one where you are willing to be wrong. Truly willing. Not saying it, feeling it. If being wrong feels threatening, ego is involved. Ego wants defense. Defense shows up as revenge, hesitation, or overconfidence. None of those belong in clean execution. Another key element of the right state of mind is emotional balance after wins. Wins are dangerous. They create confidence spikes. Confidence spikes reduced caution. Reduced caution increases risk taking. The right state of mind after a win is neutral. You acknowledge the result and return to baseline. No celebration, no momentum, just reset. The same applies after losses. Losses can create urgency. Urgency pushes you to fix. Fixing is emotional. The right state of mind after a loss is acceptance. The loss happened. It is finished. Nothing needs to be done now. If you feel the urge to respond, you are not ready to trade. The right state of mind is also free from time pressure. You are not racing the clock. You are not thinking about sessions ending. You are not trying to squeeze something in. Time pressure causes rushed decisions. Rushed decisions ignore risk. Ignoring risk ends consistency. The right state of mind feels like you have all the time you need. Even if you don't, that internal calm matters more than actual time. Another important piece is clarity of intention. You are not trading to feel something, not to feel smart, not to feel productive, not to feel relief. You are trading to execute a process correctly. If your intention is emotional, the outcome will be emotional too. The right state of mind is also quiet enough that you can hear doubt, not dismiss it, hear it. Doubt is information. It tells you something may not be aligned. Professional traders don't silence doubt with action. They listen. If doubt persists, they step away. That restraint protects them. Finally, the right state of mind includes respect for not trading. Not trading is a valid decision, a powerful one. Some of the best days are days with no trades because no damage was done, no emotional wear occurred, capital was protected, mindset was preserved. Before entering any trade, the right state of mind asks one final question. If this trade did not exist, would I be okay? If the answer is yes, you are free to act. If the answer is no, you are attached, and attachment is the enemy of discipline. Discipline before entry is not something you turn on in the moment. It is something you build over time. The right state of mind does not come from willpower. It comes from routine, from repetition, from respecting your own limits consistently. Disciplined traders don't ask themselves how they feel only after something goes wrong. They check their state before anything begins. They understand that prevention is easier than repair. They protect their state the way they protect capital. Because once state is compromised, capital usually follows. One of the most important habits disciplined traders build is emotional neutrality before engagement. They do not start sessions immediately. They ease into them. They observe. They watch without pressure. This allows the nervous system to settle. Jumping straight into decision making without this settling period increases emotional reactivity. Reactivity is the enemy of clean execution. The right state of mind is also supported by clear boundaries. Boundaries around time. Boundaries around energy. Boundaries around emotional thresholds. When a trader knows in advance when they will stop, they trade more calmly. Uncertainty about stopping creates pressure. Pressure leaks into entries. Clear boundaries remove that pressure. Another key is predictability of behavior. When you behave the same way under similar conditions, your mind relaxes. It doesn't need to stay on high alert. High alert states make traders impulsive. Predictable behavior creates safety. Safety allows patience. Patience allows clarity. The right state of mind is also strengthened by reducing decision load. Too many choices overwhelm the mind. Overwhelm increases emotional responses. Disciplined traders simplify. Fewer situations, fewer decisions, fewer reasons to act. This simplification creates mental space. Mental space allows you to sense when something is off. That sensing is critical. Another factor is respecting emotional capacity. Just because the market is active does not mean you are ready. Some days your emotional capacity is lower. Stress outside trading, poor sleep, mental fatigue. Ignoring these reduces performance. Disciplined traders listen to capacity. They do not push through compromised states. Pushing through feels strong, but it causes subtle mistakes. Subtle mistakes accumulate. Accumulation leads to frustration. Frustration leads to emotional entries. Avoiding this begins with honesty about capacity. The right state of mind before entering trades is also free from storytelling. You are not telling yourself what should happen. You are not building narratives. Stories create attachment. Attachment creates emotion. Emotion interferes with execution. The right state of mind sees only what is present, not what could be, not what should be, just what is. Another important piece is emotional reset after every decision. Before entering the next trade, disciplined traders mentally reset. They do not stack emotions. They do not carry momentum. Each decision stands alone. This prevents emotional snowballing. Snowballing is how one bad decision becomes many. The right state of mind also includes respect for uncertainty. You are not seeking certainty. You are comfortable with probability. Comfort with uncertainty removes the need to force entries. Forced entries come from discomfort. Comfort creates patience. Patience creates selectivity. Selectivity improves quality. Quality protects capital. The right state of mind is also supported by self-compassion. Harsh self-talk increases emotional load. Emotional load interferes with clarity. Disciplined traders are firm, not harsh. They correct behavior without self-attack. Self-attack creates pressure. Pressure degrades decision-making. Finally, the right state of mind becomes automatic through repetition. You no longer need to consciously check every emotion. Your body signals misalignment early. You feel it and you respond. That responsiveness is mastery. Not forcing calm, but recognizing when calm is missing and stepping away. Over time, this mindset becomes your default. You don't need motivation. You don't need reminders. Your behavior reflects your understanding. This is when trading becomes sustainable because you are no longer fighting yourself. You are working with yourself, and that cooperation is the real edge. Once a trade is entered, the state of mind that allowed the entry must be protected. This is where many traders fail. They enter well, but they do not stay well. The moment price moves, emotion tries to take control. Hope appears, fear appears, expectation appears. If your state of mind shifts, execution shifts with it. The right state of mind during a trade is the same as before it. Detached, calm, unattached. You are not watching for validation. You are observing behavior. Most traders stare at the screen looking for reassurance. Reassurance creates dependence. Dependence increases emotional reaction. The right state of mind does not need reassurance. It trusts the decision process, not the outcome. When emotion rises during a trade, disciplined traders do not argue with it. They don't tell themselves to be calm. They recognize the signal. Emotion rising means state is changing. And when state changes, control must increase. That may mean tightening focus, reducing exposure, or exiting early. Exiting early is not failure. It is state management. Protecting state is protecting future decisions. Many traders stay in trades they should exit because they don't want to admit the state changed, but state always changes. What matters is how quickly you respond. The right state of mind includes permission to exit without explanation. You don't need justification. You don't need confirmation. If your clarity is gone, the trade is no longer valid. Clarity is part of the setup. Lose clarity, lose alignment. Staying after that is emotional. Another part of maintaining the right state is not watching every movement. Constant monitoring increases emotional noise. Noise clouds judgment. Disciplined traders give trades space. They don't hover. They don't micromanage. They allow the decision to play out. Interference usually comes from fear. Fear wants control. Control degrades execution. The right state of mind trusts structure, not moment-to-moment movement. You also protect state by limiting internal dialogue. Talking to yourself constantly increases emotion. Simple, neutral observation keeps the mind calm. Silence is underrated. Silence reduces reaction. Reaction leads to mistakes. The right state of mind during trades is also free from scorekeeping. You are not calculating what this trade will do for you. You are not imagining outcomes. Imagination increases emotional charge. Emotional charge reduces patience. Patience is required to let trades resolve properly. If impatience appears, that is information. Information telling you your state is shifting. And when state shifts, action may be required. Another key is ending trades cleanly. Whether a trade wins or loses, the exit should return you to neutral. No celebration, no disappointment, just completion. Emotional reactions after exits contaminate the next decision. Clean exits preserve state. Clean state preserves discipline. Over time, disciplined traders develop a habit of resetting after every trade, a breath, a pause, a physical reset, standing up, looking away. This reset prevents emotional carryover. Carryover is what turns one mistake into many. The right state of mind also includes knowing when the day is done, not based on time, based on state. When focus fades, when emotion rises, when patience drops, those are signals to stop. Ignoring them is how discipline erodes. Stopping early protects tomorrow. Tomorrow is always more important than one more trade today. Eventually, maintaining the right state of mind becomes natural. You don't think about it constantly. You feel it. You sense when alignment is present. You sense when it is gone, and you act accordingly. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is experience. In the end, the right state of mind before entering trades is not a trick. It is a relationship with yourself, a relationship built on honesty, respect, restraint. When that relationship is strong, trading becomes simpler, not easier, but clearer. You enter fewer trades, but better ones. You exit sooner when needed. You stop earlier when compromised. And because of that, you stay consistent. Not because you predicted correctly, but because you behaved correctly. That is the real secret. The market does not reward the smartest traders. It rewards the most self-aware ones, those who know when they are ready, and more importantly, those who know when they are not. Once you master that, trading stops being a struggle. It becomes a practice, a calm, disciplined practice, one decision at a time. And that is how consistency is built, not through force, but through the right state of mind before, during, and after every trade. Over time, you begin to realize that the right state of mind is not something you search for. It is something you protect. You don't force calm. You remove what disrupts it. You remove noise. You remove pressure. You remove unnecessary decisions. And what remains is clarity. Clarity is fragile. It does not survive chaos. That is why disciplined traders are selective about when they engage. They don't trade because the market is open. They trade because they are ready. Readiness is internal, not external. Another subtle shift happens. You stop asking, is this trade worth it? And start asking, is my state worth risking right now? That question changes everything because some trades are not worth the emotional cost, even if they work. Winning while emotionally compromised trains bad behavior. Bad behavior always returns later with interest. The right state of mind values long-term consistency over short-term satisfaction. It understands that today's discipline protects tomorrow's clarity, and tomorrow's clarity protects long-term growth. You also become very aware of microsignals, a slight urge to rush, a subtle tightness in the chest, a fast internal voice. These signals appear before mistakes. Beginners ignore them. Experienced traders respect them. Respect means pause. Pause restores choice. Choice restores discipline. Another important realization settles in. The right state of mind is not confidence. Confidence can be loud. It can be misleading. The right state of mind is comfort with uncertainty. You don't need to know what will happen. You are okay not knowing. That comfort keeps you patient. Patience keeps you selective. Selectivity keeps you safe. You also stop seeking emotional certainty from rules. Rules guide behavior. They do not guarantee comfort. Some discomfort is normal. The right state of mind does not try to eliminate discomfort. It prevents discomfort from becoming control. Control over behavior is what matters. not control over feelings. You also become careful about how you start and end your day. The beginning sets the tone. The end seals the mindset. Rushing into trading disrupts state. Rushing out without closure carries emotion forward. Disciplined traders open slowly and close intentionally. They don't leave sessions emotionally open-ended. This prevents buildup. Buildup leads to impulsive behavior later. You also begin to see that many traders fail, not during trades, but between them, in the waiting, in the boredom, in the silence. The right state of mind is comfortable in stillness. Stillness no longer feels like danger. It feels like control. This comfort alone removes many poor entries. You also stop trying to get in early. Early is emotional. On time is disciplined. Waiting until clarity is present keeps state intact. You are no longer tempted by half-formed ideas. You wait for alignment. Alignment feels calm, not urgent, not exciting, calm. Another important piece is ending trades without emotional attachment. You don't need closure from the market. Closure comes from acceptance. The trade ended. That's it. No replay. No justification. No self-judgment. Clean endings protect the next beginning. And finally, something becomes deeply ingrained. You trust yourself to stop. You trust yourself to wait. You trust yourself to walk away. That trust is everything, because without it, fear controls behavior. With it, discipline flows naturally. In the end, the right state of mind before entering trades is not about preparing to win. It is about preparing to behave correctly. Behavior is the only thing you control. Outcomes are temporary. Behavior compounds. Once this is understood, trading stops feeling stressful, stops feeling urgent, stops feeling heavy. It becomes measured, intentional, grounded. And that grounded state is what allows you to show up day after day without burning out, without forcing, without chasing, just responding. That is the state disciplined traders live in, and it is available to anyone willing to slow down enough to protect it, because the real work in trading happens before you ever enter a trade. And once that work is respected, everything else becomes clearer. One calm decision at a time. Eventually, you stop trying to get into the right state of mind. You live in it, not because you are perfect, but because you've removed what keeps pulling you out of alignment. You no longer overload yourself with information. You no longer rush sessions. You no longer trade to fix emotions. Those behaviors were draining your state long before the trade began. Now, your default is steadiness, and steadiness is powerful. You also begin to see how fragile mindset really is. One rushed morning, one emotional conversation, one night of poor sleep. These things matter, so you respect them. You don't ignore your life and expect your trading mind to stay clean. You understand that trading is not separate from who you are. Your state follows you, so you take care of it. That care shows up as fewer trades, but better ones. You no longer feel guilty for not trading. You no longer feel pressure to perform daily. You understand that discipline is not about activity. It's about alignment. When alignment is present, action feels natural. When it's missing, restraint feels necessary. You also stop needing certainty before entry. You don't wait until fear disappears. You don't wait until confidence feels perfect. You wait until emotion is manageable, until you can act without urgency, until you can exit without regret. That is readiness. You also notice that your reactions to outcomes have softened. Wins don't inflate you. Losses don't deflate you. You return to baseline quickly. Baseline is where clarity lives. Most traders never find baseline. They bounce between emotional extremes. You don't, because you protect your state before it's tested. At this point, the right state of mind becomes self-reinforcing. Calm decisions lead to clean outcomes. Clean outcomes reinforce trust. Trust stabilizes emotion. Stable emotion preserves clarity. Clarity supports calm decisions. This loop replaces the old one, the one built on urgency. on reaction, on forcing. That old loop kept traders stuck. This one keeps you grounded. You also stop asking the market for permission. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need reassurance. You trust your process. And that trust removes hesitation. Hesitation was never about lack of knowledge. It was about lack of self-trust. Now, self-trust is present, not loud, quiet, reliable. You trust yourself to stop when needed, to wait when unclear, to walk away when compromised. That trust is what allows you to stay consistent over time. And consistency is what everything rests on. In the end, the right state of mind before entering trades is not something dramatic. It doesn't feel powerful. It feels normal, calm, clear, unrushed. You don't feel like you're about to do something important. You feel like you're about to do something correctly. That difference is everything, because importance feeds ego. Correctness feeds discipline. And discipline is what the market quietly rewards, not immediately, not emotionally, but reliably over time. When your state of mind is right, you don't need to force discipline. Discipline happens naturally. You don't need to remind yourself to be patient. You simply are. You don't need to fight impulse. Impulse doesn't arise as strongly because the conditions that created it are gone. This is the level where trading becomes sustainable, where stress reduces, where confidence stabilizes, where growth becomes real. Not because you figured out the market, but because you figured out yourself inside the market. And that is the final truth. The quality of your trades will never exceed the quality of your state of mind. Protect the state, and the rest follows. Quietly, consistently, one calm decision at a time. And once this state becomes familiar, you realize something important. You are no longer trying to control the market. You are controlling your exposure to yourself. You know when your mind is sharp, you know when it is not, and you respect that knowledge. This respect changes how you show up. You no longer enter trades to escape boredom. You no longer enter trades to feel productive. You no longer enter trades because you feel pressure to participate. Participation is optional. Clarity is not. You wait for clarity because you know what happens when you don't. You've lived through the cost. You've seen how a slightly rushed entry turns into emotional management, how emotional management turns into interference, how interference turns into regret. You don't need reminders anymore. Experience has made the lesson permanent. You also notice that the right state of mind makes trading feel lighter. There is less mental noise, less second guessing, less internal debate. Decisions are simpler, not easier. Simpler, and simplicity is powerful. Complex minds struggle under pressure. Simple minds respond. You also stop treating every trade as a test. Trading is no longer a measure of your worth. It is a practice. Practices don't judge, they refine. This shift removes a huge emotional burden, because when identity is no longer attached to outcome, fear loses its grip. Fear was distorting entries. Fear was rushing exits. Fear was driving hesitation. Now fear still appears, but it no longer decides. It informs. That distinction matters. You also begin to feel the difference between calm, confidence, and excitement. Excitement pushes. Calm confidence allows. You don't feel the need to predict. You don't feel the need to rush. You don't feel the need to be early. You are content being on time. On time is disciplined. Early is emotional. Late is reactive. On time is calm. You also realize that the right state of mind protects you even when conditions are difficult. When the market is slow, when it is erratic, when nothing makes sense. Instead of forcing understanding, you step back. Confusion is not a signal to trade. It is a signal to wait. Waiting preserves clarity. Clarity preserves discipline. Discipline preserves longevity. Longevity is the real edge. You also become comfortable with saying no. No to marginal situations. No to emotional impulses. No to the need to be involved. Every no protects a future yes. That understanding changes how you value restraint. Restraint no longer feels passive. It feels active, intentional, professional. At this point, The right state of mind becomes less about preparation and more about maintenance. You maintain it by avoiding excess trading, excess information, excess emotion. You keep your environment clean. Clean environments support clean decisions. You also stop expecting perfection from yourself. Perfection creates pressure. Pressure distorts state. You aim for consistency. Consistency is forgiving. It allows mistakes without collapse. And that forgiveness keeps your state stable. Stable state leads to stable behavior. Stable behavior leads to sustainable results. Finally, you understand something deeply. Every trade begins long before you click a button. It begins with how you slept, how you think, how you react, how you pause. The right state of mind is not created at the screen. It is carried to the screen. And once you respect that, trading stops being chaotic, stops being stressful, stops being heavy. It becomes measured, calm, intentional, and that is where real progress lives. Not in excitement, not in urgency, but in quiet readiness. Readiness to act when aligned. Readiness to wait when not. Readiness to walk away without regret. That is the right state of mind. And once you live in it, trading finally begins to make sense. Not because the market changed, but because you did. And as this way of operating settles in, you notice a quiet confidence replacing effort. Not the kind that needs proof, the kind that rests. You no longer scan the screen looking for permission. You no longer negotiate with yourself. You no longer ask the market to reassure you. You know your state. And because you know it, you trust it. Trust simplifies everything. When trust is present, hesitation fades. When hesitation fades, timing improves. When timing improves, outcomes stabilize. Not perfectly, reliably. You also become aware that the right state of mind is not fragile anymore. It can handle uncertainty. It can handle losses. It can handle missed opportunities. Missed opportunities no longer sting because you understand something most traders never accept. You cannot catch everything. Trying to catch everything destroys state. Protecting state keeps you consistent. Consistency is more valuable than any single opportunity. You also stop replaying what could have been. Replays keep the mind in the past. Trading requires presence. Presence keeps decisions clean. Clean decisions protect you from emotional carryover. Carryover is what ruins the next trade. You no longer allow it. You reset again and again. Quietly, you also begin to notice how much calmer your exits are. You don't cling. You don't fight. You don't bargain. When clarity fades, you leave. No drama, no explanation. This calm exit behavior is a sign of a healthy state. Healthy state means you are not emotionally invested. You are behaviorally committed. That difference defines professionals. You also understand that the right state of mind does not guarantee good outcomes, and that is okay. You accept that sometimes correct behavior still leads to loss, but you no longer question yourself because of it. You judge yourself by behavior, not outcome. This removes emotional volatility. Volatility in emotion leads to volatility in decisions. Stable emotion leads to stable behavior. Stable behavior compounds. You also become selective about when you consume information. You stop flooding your mind before trading. Information overload disrupts state. You choose clarity over quantity, less input, more presence. Presence sharpens perception. Perception improves timing. Timing improves execution. Execution protects capital. Capital buys time. Time allows mastery. This is the chain. You also notice how the right state of mind makes stopping easier. Stopping used to feel like giving up. Now it feels like wisdom. You stop when tired. You stop when emotional. You stop when unclear. Each stop protects tomorrow. Tomorrow matters more than squeezing one more decision today. This long-term thinking is part of the state now. It's not forced. It's natural. Finally, you realize that the right state of mind is not a destination. It's a practice. Some days it's easier. Some days it takes effort. But you always return to it because you've seen what happens when you don't. You've lived both sides and you know which one lasts. In the end, the right state of mind before entering trades is about respect. Respect for uncertainty. Respect for your limits. Respect for time. Respect for yourself. When that respect is present, trading becomes sustainable. Not because you win more, but because you stop destroying yourself emotionally. And when emotional damage stops, consistency finally has space to grow. That is the quiet truth most traders never hear. Protect the state, and the results will follow slowly, steadily, and honestly. One calm decision at a time. That is the work. That is the discipline. That is the path.